Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, I've been looking forward to this one. Ballot measures are unfortunately the last on my agenda. But yeah, I can cover the major presidential races first. But yes, I've been waiting so long for this, and I hopefully you are too. But we have the 2024 Wisconsin elections, which ultimately ended up to be huge gains for Republicans, something that this Wikipedia article refuses to talk about. Um, but it's true. Republicans swept, accordingly, I want to say around 5 seats in the said judicial elections. And that, as you know, is a huge comeback according to last year's 2023 spring elections, where we lost a Supreme Court seat to a radical pro-abortion named abortionist named Janet, and she's Polish, I want to believe. So she has a very complicated name. But yeah, as you know, that election was very agonizing, and, and it was very difficult, very disappointing election. Um, and I think that election alone pretty much set the tune for 2023 as far as Republicans. But this was a huge comeback. And part of the reason's not because of the judicial seats. I want to tell you, it's also because of the ballot measures. And you'll see here there are some ballot measures that we are going to be looking at. There is question one and question two. And I believe they're both going to be evolving around, as you know, these questions are going to be evolving around election integrity. Now, there are some other questions on in August 13th that we'll be reviewing, but that's in August. But let's take a look at the election integrity ballot measures. So it says the first constitutional amendment on the ballot in 2024 dealt with the issue of external funding to support election administration. This amendment was proposed by Republican legislators in response to the Mark Zuckerberg-backed nonprofit Center for Tech and Civic Life, making $10 million of the grants spread across 100 Wisconsin municipalities and 38 Wisconsin counties to help these municipalities to pay election-related expenses for the 2020 elections. The amendment was ratified with 54% of the popular vote. Of the popular vote. The question here read, use of private funds in election administration. Shall Section 7 of Article 3 of the Constitution be created to provide that private donations and grants may not be applied for expended or used in connection with the conduct of any primary election or referendum. And as a result, 54.43% of people voted. Yeah, this was an election with low turnout. And part of the reason was, I think, reason why Trump did good was I could say, as a result, I thought we have maps up here. Shoot, but let's see if we have. Oops. Part of the reason why Republicans once again did good was because of these questions. I think Republicans in general were great of pushing out, go out and vote based on these said questions. And not just only that, obviously Nikki Haley supporters came out and voted too. But we're going to go ahead and do New York Times. But I think Nikki Haley supporters, although Nikki Haley has a base, a moderate base, a conservative base, and a progressive base, the conservative base of the Haley campaign, which is no longer existent anymore, but they came out and they voted in support of these measures. We got to remember the Haley campaign is not as conservative as the Trump campaign, but they are more center right than I would say left, being non-biased and truthful when it comes to this. So we're going to say election NYT, Wisconsin NYT. We are looking at, I think, yes, Wisconsin won. We don't care about unlimited access. So, yes, this election right here, this thing can be down there. I care less, but you'll see we were successful in picking up counties. Douglas County, big county that for Democrats. Douglas County, not the biggest and populous county. It is a county that holds the port of Superior. And it's influenced by Duluth, a city in Minnesota, of course, with 80,000 people. So yeah, and that's part of the reason why Douglas County is also pretty blue. It's also part of the Iron Range. I like to consider the Iron Range to be the coasts, the north. I would say the western coasts of Superior, Lake Superior. But you'll see how crazy Democrat this county is. This county historically voted Democrat since 1932. And before that, like, this was right when Franklin Roosevelt came and flipped the Democratic Party to the left, because prior to the rise of Franklin Roosevelt and the New Deal, the Democratic Party was big tent. Instead, like, you had Southern Democrats that were more conservative and Northern Democrats that were more progressive. And it seemed that Republicans in Wisconsin in the 20s, they were more liberal. For instance, that was because of Robert La Follette. He influenced the Republican Party of Wisconsin at the time. It seemed to be more progressive. And you'll see this is why we have more progressive areas like Madison and Superior going for, as you know, going for the campaign of Herbert Hoover. But of course, I like the 1928 election because it has everything to do with religion. Counties in blue, like, I think this is Washington County, historically Catholic. I think it's a Catholic county. I mean, it has Holy Hill and all that stuff, a huge Catholic settlement. I would say this is the most Catholic county in Wisconsin, but there's other areas. More counties in blue are areas, most likely these voters were Catholics. Um, so this was a very big lopsided election when it came to religion. But I think I'm expressing huge excitement because this county has a historic trend when it comes to voting for progressives in every election. The last time it voted Republican was in 1928, and if we get to the 1928 election, or let's just say 1932 election is the last time. If we get to 2032 and Douglas County, as we would expect, would vote for Democrats in 1932 and 2032, that would be 100 years of voting for the Democratic Party. It's kind of crazy because Douglas County is not really the most populous county. Then again, there's Superior. Superior really does influence the whole population and the politics. It's just 44,000 people in this said county, not a lot of people. And most of these people live in Superior. And there are other areas below that are influentially conservative. But then again, you'll see there are neighboring counties like Bayfield County, has no city of any kind. And Ashland County has Ashland, and that's pretty much what's making it Democrat. But Bayfield County is more progressive, and it has no city at all. It's like the Cook County of Minnesota. And I think personally, it's just progressive because people live on the coast. The Democrats just love the coasts, and that's the whole area of the liberal population. You'll see the biggest objector of this ballot measure was Dane County, which holds Madison, Wisconsin, 69% of the popular vote. They were the main objectors to this ballot measure. What is this? Oh, this is Washington County. My bad. This is Azawakee County. Azawakee. But this is Washington County. 71%. We did best in Washington County. 71%, 23,000 people voted in this election. Yes, I'm proud of our results. Door County. Door. I mean, here's the thing about ballot measures. When it comes to politics, like a politically divided question, like election integrity, Democrats and liberals tend to, when it comes to elections, they tend to focus on election access, like voting rights and campaigns against voter suppression. Republicans tend to look at election integrity, making sure that everyone it can once again vote, but making sure everything's running accurately. Once again, accurate machines, making sure all votes are counted, and making sure elections are fair. And in the end, maybe we all want elections to be fair, but then again, we're gonna be biased and say keep our mouths shut if something's going to be going to our favor. So yes, this is the Wisconsin question 1 results. Let's take a look at Wisconsin question 2. And I kind of like Wisconsin question 2 a little bit better because look at this. Very good results. We have 95% in, and this one was a landslide for conservatives, 58.6%. And according to the ballot measure, so question 2 is telling us election officials. So the second constitutional amendment on the ballot in 2024 adds language to restrict who is allowed to perform actions related to carrying out elections in Wisconsin. Wisconsin already has laws describing who is allowed to work as a poll worker or election officers. But the ambiguous wording of the new amendment could be intended to restrict in any volunteer activities around election support that are not explicitly described by the current law. The amendment was ratified with 58% of the popular vote. So, yes, I think it's adding new language, as you know, to restrict it's adding language who is allowed to perform actions related to carrying out elections. So in the actual wording, it says, shall Section 7 of Article 3 of the Constitution be created to provide that only election officials designated by law may perform tasks in the conduct of primaries, elections, and referendums. 58% said yes to this ballot measure. And yeah, that's a landslide. And you'll see pattern wise, it's more conservative areas. This is once again election integrity. And 4 counties voted against this ballot measure. These counties are we have Milwaukee County, 52. We almost won Milwaukee County. I guess election integrity is everyone's thing, and not really anyone showed up to vote in Milwaukee. 76,000 people voted no in Milwaukee. Dane County, 69%. Yes, Dane County is more liberal than Milwaukee County, despite having less people. But it is true. But Dane County, 69%. Eau Claire County, almost won Eau Claire County. That is 50.2%. With 10,000 people, Eau Claire right here. And then, of course, your Bayfield County, 53%. So, yeah, we have a trail of counties here. Ashland County, which voted in the last ballot measure, agreed with this ballot measure here. We swept Douglas County, 60%. So I think we all agree on the same thing that, yeah, I think we need different wordings and restrictions, like on how who can honestly, and basically a description on who can work and the polls and be an election officer. So yeah, it's a complicated ballot measure, like all ballot measures, but we had very good results here. County we did best in. There's Washington County, 74%. Green Lake County, 70%. Rusk County, 71%. Taylor County, 72%. Langley County, 72%. Oconto County, 71%. Marinette County, 70%. Florence County, 74%. So it's tied between Washington and Florence. And Florence County is the most conservative county in Wisconsin, believe it or not. But I don't know. But what do you guys think about these results? Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching this video. And as always, I will see you all in the next political episode.